How much do you need to invest each month to retire comfortably based on your age? This is the question posed in the following CNBC article, and whilst we're going to look at their numbers, I'm going to tell you why I think they got it wrong. Then give you the numbers I think are more accurate and what you should be aiming for and why. At the end, I will also cover lessons to learn from the data. The article is entitled, How much do you need to invest every month to retire with $1 million to $3 million broken down by age? You need to invest every month to retire based on your age. So to begin with, the article says, first let's get over how we got there. The math assumes that you have no money in savings, that your investments will earn 6% annually, and that you will retire at 67. 6% is reasonable, but also optimistic. I always go by 4% because I find it on the lower end, and with something like this, if you're going to be wrong, you want to be on the under end, not the over end. Also, with fees and taxes and everything, there's going to be some impact, hence why I use 4%. 67 years old to me is too old to be retiring. By 67, you're starting to struggle, and if you're waiting till then to enjoy life, you might be too late. My ideal retirement age would be 55 to 60. Now, this is a long time in retirement potentially. However, if you can save enough and have it invested, then who cares if you're barely, if at all, touching your capital and instead living off the dividends or earnings of your investments. In your early years of retirement, you're going to want to be more active. That's when you want to go see the world and do stuff. As you get older, it will be harder to do stuff, so you're less likely to spend, in my opinion. According to the article, at 20 years old, to retire with $1 million, you need to save $319 a month. If you're 30 now with no savings, to retire with $1 million, you would need to save $613 a month every month going forward. If you're 40, then you need to save $1,240 a month. If you're 50, then you need to save $2,831 a month. Next, they give them numbers to have $2 million at retirement, which to me is the optimal minimal amount of savings, which on 4% interest will increase by $80,000 a year, meaning you can spend $80K and end the year in the same position you started. If you spend $100K a year, it's going to cut into your initial amount, but if you live 20 to 30 years, it's still going to be enough to last you until you die, which is an odd thing to say, but that's the reality of what we're talking about here. If you want to retire with $2 million and you are 20 now with no savings, you need to save $639 a month. If you're 30, then it's $1,226 per month. If you're 40, then it's $2,480 per month. If you're 50 and want to retire with $2 million, then it's $5,662 per month every month. The article goes on for $3 million at retirement. If you're 20 with no savings, you need to save $958 a month every month going forward. If you're 30, it's going to be $1,839. If you're 40, it's going to be $3,720. And if you're 50, it's going to be $8,493 every single month. Those are their numbers. However, like I said, to me, you should work on 4% interest, aim to retire between the ages of 55 and 60, and $2 million is the optimal number for retirement. If you have elderly relatives who are still alive, you probably would have noticed a strong decline around the ages of 75 years old and onwards, sometimes even earlier. It's a really sad thing to see. Now, if you've worked hard all your life, you want to be enjoying the fruits of your labor. I think it's best to try to retire early and spend time living the good life and going out and doing stuff while you still can. Another key point I think is important is that for me, I want to have $2 million invested on top of owning my own house. That is, I want the $2 million in investments and whatever the value of my house is to be separate to that. Therefore, on $80K a year interest at 4%, I can spend $80K so I can travel, see more of the world, spoil grandkids, and whatever else I like to do. So to retire with the numbers I have set, retiring at 55, I need to save the following. Starting from the age of 20, it's $2,200 a month. Starting from the age of 30, it's $3,900 a month. Next, we get a bit extreme. I hope my income reaches this level, but since I already started in my 20s and I'm already well ahead, I fortunately am well ahead of the target at this point. However, if I hadn't done that, starting at the age of 40, it's $8,200 a month. And just to be ridiculous, but it is possible if you'd worked your way to be CEO but for some reason spent all of your money previously, if you want to retire with $2 million in investments and only started saving at the age of 50, then you need to save $30,500 per month to retire by the age of 55. Those are my numbers. Fortunately, I started in my 20s, so the numbers are much more manageable. To work out what works for you, then you need to calculate how much you envisage to spend per year. Then figure out what the number represents as 4% of. So if it's only $40K per year, then you need to make $1 million in investments. One key point that this highlights is the power of compound interest, where the sooner you can start saving, the better. However, you can catch up, and if you build your skills, you can build your income and give yourself more opportunity to save. But the more you can save now, the better. However, keep in mind that investing in your skills also works in the same way. Skills and experience compound over time and can also exponentially increase with time. So if you're not reaching your financial goals, don't be put off if you are reaching your personal goals and career growth goals. These numbers assume you are starting with zero, so if that's not the case, then that's a bonus. Unless of course you're in debt, in which case it's a negative and you need to get that worked out quickly. If you are in debt, the sooner you can get that sorted out, the sooner you can start saving towards your retirement. One other thing to think about is that if you are open to moving, there are places where your money will go further. So you could cut the cost of your retirement by moving elsewhere, but that's another topic we will cover in another video. As always, let me know what you think in the comments, and good luck. I hope this gives you some idea of how much you need to save so that you can plan for your retirement.